of the bumpy cake of this disgusting goblin. And it's really, really interesting. So I guess I'm gonna wait a minute. This one doesn't taste so good. This is a different kind. I'm not real happy with it. So, FREIERS, or FREIERS, however you want to say it, that is the biggest insult you can call a Jew. And so that's how I will be referring to them from now on. They are FREIERS. Start to finish, across the board. They won't be referred to as chosen anymore. I will even avoid saying the J's as much as I do, but, you know, we are exposing stuff here. I'm on to something, you guys. So, I've been talking about these last few days that clearly something happened in like 2013. And I've shown you guys multiple times the ACT-IL definition of things. So, let me just read this to you real quick. Because I'm, got my receipts, right? So, Karen, good morning. You're going to like this. You're going to like this. So, let's first talk about ACT.IL. Okay? ACT.IL was a social networking service used by supporters of Israel to oppose online, quote, anti-Israel content, such as the BDS movement, boycott, divestments, and sanctions. Its activities were referred to as an online propaganda campaign and a virtual situation room for pro-Israel experts. It's really important. ACT.IL directed its users to, quote, missions to like, comment on, and share pro-Israel materials on social media. It also asked users to flag, report, and respond to criticisms of Israel. Users were guided on how to respond, which might entail writing a reply using the provided talking points. This is the biggest part of this, right? Yeah, this is AI, duh. The app also provided users with ready-made memes promoting Israel's perspective for them to share. By completing missions, users earned points, unlocked badges, and had their scores displayed on leaderboards. So they turned trolling and attacking those telling the truth into like a video game, a real-life video game where they get prizes and shit for doing it. But the provided talking points is the biggest thing. And I've been saying this for a while, but it's... You know, it's only been here, so it's been more difficult. But the last two nights, last night and this morning, I've had several of them come at me. Yes, it's AI. That's why I'm acknowledging what you're saying, because that's what AI does. But it's really interesting how, you know, they'll talk their normal shit, kind of, you know, oh, you're stupid or whatever, you know. But as soon as you start bringing up the truth, as soon as you start calling them Matitza Bape pedos, and you start pointing out their shit, immediately. So I was told by two guys, two separate people, that I must be off my meds. That's one, right? And schizophrenia. Two of them said schizophrenia. One of them said projecting. You're projecting. And what was the other thing? Damn. Either way, the off the meds and the schizophrenic thing. So let me. I took screenshots. So I responded with. Well, let me see. I'll read it to you because I took screenshots because I had to take screenshots. Right? It's not even ad hominem. This is the programmed talking points that we keep talking about. Maybe it's ad hominem, whatever you want to call it, but. So I says to Tanner Pentages, I don't know, Pantages. One was Eric Fisher. That's the guy whose profile is being used, whose picture is being used. I saw a bro giving aggressive handjobs to a dude behind a dumpster last night. You were watching some guy give handjobs to a dude behind a dumpster? Like the fact that they think that these are like clever things, this proves the point, right? These are all pedos. So I says, LOL, funny how you are all so dumb, say the same meds and schizophrenic thing, BS. It must be the talking points you're given to say, since it's not even an accurate burn because you're too dumb to know what it actually means. But it's what you say instead of anything good about Israel or your people. Though that isn't quite accurate either. I put people in parentheses. Or in quotations. I said, ha ha ha, literally, I'm so happy you were dumb enough to say it. I will definitely be talking about you on my live. You have no idea, but you proved what I've been saying for a long time. This is some act.il, Team Jorge propaganda nonsense you all use when people throw facts at you, that you can't refute. You are all Matitsaba pay pedos. You are all programmed clowns. And you are all going to make this world a better place when your stupidity cult is wiped off the map. This is so much more valuable to me than you ever realized. So thank you for that. It also proves what a cowardly pussy you absolutely are, and just how easily you'd be beaten down. Wow, LOL. I can't believe how well this worked out. This is the smoking gun proof I've been looking for, and I will exploit it for all it's worth. You have no idea how easy you have made things for me with your one cowardly comment. But, at the very least, you've proven what disgusting pedos you all are, especially since you never deny it. That's a piece. That was a response to Dan Mercer. So Dan Mercer said triggered, one of the things, again, you see these same comments. It's the same shit. So now you receive handjobs from dudes? Again, okay, if that's what you're cool with admitting. This dude likes getting handjobs behind dumpsters. Trying to find, because it didn't do it in order like it should have. Okay, so all right, so I said, Eric Fisher, Matitza Bape, I don't know, otherwise. And like I said to the other one of you cowards, it's funny how you never deny it. You were clearly graped in the ritual BS you guys practice, and Israel Hayom exposed. I can't wait to show everyone on my live where I've been exposing act.il and Team Jorge shit for years. You're given your responses, none of which say anything good about you savages, because you can't. I'm right. and your disgusting pedo cult will be wiped off the map sooner than later. Off your meds, schizo, projecting. These are the talking points you're given, and since you're not smart enough to think for yourself and or say something good about you friars as a whole, you make all this so easy. Thank you for yet another example. I can't wait to expose you on today's live. At this point, I'm half sure you'll be there trying to get more points, lol. You friar cowards aren't even worth the spit in your face. Not even worth the spit in your face. Since you probably like it. Oh, and this is what I said to the other goblin on a different comment. So then I quoted the Tanner Pantages shit. I said, see, I've already exposed you, and we'll use these examples today to expose you. And I think I'll use your bumpy cake face as the profile picture. So let's see. Like, again, Gary Reynolds is so stupid. He doesn't understand. Like, he's exposing himself. Like, this is how dumb they are, right? This is how dumb these chosen are, especially when they have to sort of think on their own. They're not just regurgitating talking points. So when he's like, oh, I saw you giving hand jobs behind the thing, and I'm like, dude, you like watching dudes get hand jobs behind dumpsters? Plot twist, it was you. So you want me to give you it was him. It was me that was getting the hand job. So now you're saying you get hand jobs from dudes behind dumpsters? Only you. I like to feel the calluses. Like, these are the people that dress up in women's lingerie. They kill the Palestinians and then go through their houses and put their lingerie up on over their fatigues. Can you imagine how small they have to be able to put lingerie on over fatigues? And then they take pictures of it. And they probably all jerk off to it. Cross lane registers. Yep. Yep, that's me. The guy exposing all of you pieces of shit. Don't even know where cross lane is, but good job. Eric Fisher. No, it's E-R-I-K. Remember, you guys spell it differently. Yeah, nobody likes Gary because Gary is an idiot. Yep, look, we have somebody that's literally made a profile with my name in it. That's how important I am to these people. How many of you, like, it's not just, you don't just make new profiles. You have to then make an IP address that can be attached to that profile. So every time there's a new profile, there's a new IP address. So I'm so important that this guy made YouTube, his YouTube page 5 minutes ago, says, very midget Guy Williams. Very midget. That, like, again, I crush all of you. I just crush you. It's so silly. No, you didn't. You knew a guy who said that about himself. Yep, from my mom. Yep. I mean, again, we'll see how many of them didn't realize, like, these friars are disgusting. They're just disgusting pedos. And that explains why, like, this shows you exactly what I've been saying. They're very incapable. They're very stupid. Outside of the given talking points, they don't have much. And this is exactly what I'm saying. DOD contacted employees. Yep. Look at this. Look at how desperate this is. 50-some people. Guys, I am proving to you what's going on. You want to see? Look at the comments. Just look at them. Look at how nobody's actually denying what I'm saying, contradicting what I'm saying. They're just sort of trying to, like, one-up me. They're trying to shoot the messenger. It's like, oh, hey, well, you did this. Well, what about you? They're making up all this bullshit. Not one of them denies it. This ACT-IL thing that I happened to stumble across, I mean, seriously, imagine making a fake profile just so you could watch me. He's right, yeah. Oh, you're wrong. Yep, it's my kid. It's my kid who just made a fake page to watch me and then talk a bunch of shit. That makes so much sense. I'm just, it's just amazing. You haven't given any proof. You have not a single fact. Yep, not a single fact. You're smoking, bro. No, 29, yeah. A lot of people on here are talking a lot of googly gap. People bring up the shit here that doesn't matter. It's because they're trying to distract, Will. It's all about distract. This is how they've been told to operate. Tell people they're off their meds, because if you bring crazy into it, you can't deny what the person's saying. You can't refute or anything what the person's saying. So now the person saying it has to be literally crazy. Literally. That's the goal, is to, because if I present as crazy, if somebody's like, man, he's making sense. Oh, I don't like, and then well, he's crazy. And I'm not crazy, so I'm not going to listen because he's crazy. I'm not, okay. But it's impossible. It's literally impossible that, out of the four people that responded to my comments, all J's, belch, that two of them say the same thing, and the other two say a version, use another one of the talking points. It's really fucking strange, man. It's ACT-IL. This just proves the point. And there's only so much I can do that, it requires you on the other side to see it, but just look. Look at what they say. Look at what they do. Sounds like you got a bunch of kids. Nah, these aren't kids. It's just their mentality. They're childish. They're stupid. And they're sexual deviants. This is the result of the ritualistic sexual abuse that Israel Hayom exposed. There's a website it's a completely Jewish Israeli website. It's called Israel Hayom, Hayom, and the article is called Bottom of Darkness. And it exposes the ritualistic sexual abuse that is everywhere in Israel. It's everywhere. Now again, this is proof. You guys have to look for it, but it's proof. The funny thing is, if you go try to look at it, because I'm going to put the link to the article in my description after I'm done. But if you just go try to read the article, like, how many of you have ever gone to a website or something trying to read an article, and the article consistently kicks you out? The website makes it difficult for you to read their own article. It's the strangest thing. I've never experienced it on any other thing that I've read, any other website I've looked at in my life. Like, even the porn websites, nothing is like this. But it exposes how basically all of them go through this, and it's usually an uncle or their father or grandfather or something like that, and a community leader led by a rabbi, and the ritualistic sexual abuse. It's insane. I mean, maybe I should just read the article. What do you guys think? Attempt to. But when people are abused as children, especially violently abused, and not just as children, but as children by people they trust, right? It breaks their brain. especially when they go tell the people that they trust, hey, this happened to me. And the standard is that, oh, you know, like they say in the article, it says how they purposefully make the abuse as extreme as possible because somehow that'll make the kids seem crazy when they try to tell it, and they're less likely to be believed. Like, that's just, why wouldn't you believe it just because it's extreme? Unless, of course, you're some dumb friar who had it happen to you, and you know, you're trying to justify it and trying to perpetuate the system that exists. Like, this is just crazy. You can debate me. You can debate anything the person says if they just make a statement and then have nothing to add to it. Sure. You click on they name, it'll say joined 1 year ago, joined 3 years ago. They're all 11-year-olds. 90%. Yep, that's what it is. They all click. So even the one that has my name that says joined 13 minutes ago and no subscribers, actually most of them seem to have joined 12 years ago. That seems to be the main one. Oh, I gotta get on here and talk nonstop, but never backs it up with facts. Yep, never backs it up. Again, you know, disprove what I'm saying. Back it up with facts. The feed is the fact. The fact that, you know, that you will see these same idiots say off your meds, schizo, projecting, you know, they use the same. How do they all know the same fucking inaccurate response? Like, schizo is something one, it's not even a joke. But two, it's not like I'm sitting here talking to myself. You know, I'm not having conversations. Like, Algo is schizo. You know, Algo has the multiple personality disorder. But that's the best you can do. And more important than anything, they don't deny or refute anything I'm saying. You'll never see anybody come on here and talk about how great Israel is or how great the FREIERS are themselves. All they do is try to talk dumb shit. Look at this. Look at how many of these profiles there are. Joined 10 years ago, 1 subscriber. Joined 1 year ago, 3 subscribers. Dad is off his meds. Oh, we have one that didn't get the see the previous or the beginning part of this. So they're coming on here proving the point. Off his meds. Yep. Joined 4 years ago, no subscribers. We have, I served in 5 years. Yep. This guy's really upset about. Joined 3 weeks ago, no subscribers. That's the guy that served for 5 years. He served for 5 years. He's been on YouTube for 3 weeks. I've literally been inside a military submarine. 3 years ago, 2 subscribers. Oh, Iowa Cop Watch. For some reason, so I'm assuming Iowa Cop Watch is a FREIER run page. You know, because there's lots of Jews out there doing these pages. But this is, you know, this is the shit that keeps happening. I've noticed these news websites don't like you using ad blockers either. No, this is different. I'll show you guys. Watch. So. All right. Bottom of Darkness, the Israel Hayom article. Okay. So, bottom of darkness. Oh, look. It's going to do this. Okay, so now I got to click on this. Then it's going to do this. Now it's okay. Now I'm back to bottom of darkness. Oh, now it pops back up again. See this shit? Click on that. Click back. Click. I had to click back. Okay, now we're back here again. Multiple women recount organized abuse, including ritual ceremonies conducted by people they knew, even close family members. After months of interviews with their victims, their families, treatment professionals, and experts in Israel and abroad, a disturbing picture emerges with descriptions difficult to read. I suffered painful sodomy, truly felt like I was splitting in two. It's a terrible experience. But there's something about these things, perhaps in their strangeness, it's like maybe the hardest component is that if you tell people about these things, they'll think you're crazy. I remember many types of severe sexual abuse, but there's something about these ritualistic abuses that makes them the bottom of darkness. Okay, I'm just waiting for it to kick off. In direct words and with a clear voice, Imana, a pseudonym like all the victims named in this article, describes the severe abuse she allegedly experienced in her childhood. Organized sexual abuse that includes ceremonies with supposed religious significance. Horrifying ceremonies in which religious people, some of her own family, sacrificed her as an offering for spiritual transcendence or redemption. Imana is not alone, or Imuna. More than 10 women between the ages of 25 and 40 with whom we spoke described a severe phenomenon raising serious concerns that in Israel, like in many countries worldwide, because that's how you know this is an Israel article, right? Because they'll constantly keep trying to be like, but it happens everywhere else too. Look at what they do. They're doing it, so it's not as bad. Organized sexual abuse of children is occurring right under everyone's noses. Perhaps the world knows that rape occurs, that incest occurs, but the world does. I hate the way they talk. But the world doesn't know. These acts have been kept secret for many years, perhaps because of their insanity. It was always very, very strange, as if there was an internal logic, but it was so crazy. Very strange things happen there, normalized in a ritualistic and orderly manner. There's a specific time. There's when to say this verse, and when to say that verse. There's an order as if things are supposed to be done this way. Interesting, huh? Hey, maybe it's not going to kick me off anymore. Maybe they fixed it. Each woman we interviewed during our investigation had a different life story. They come from different areas of the country, from north to south. Each is as different. Each at a different place in their life. Some are students, others work and manage careers and family lives. And there are also young women barely surviving, clinging to life by their fingernails. These women did not grow up, did not know each other. These women did not know each other previously, grew up in different communities, and come from different sectors and religious streams. Yet the ritual abuse stories that they describe are similar in ways that compel us to listen and not turn a blind eye. Some were harmed in early childhood educational settings or in girls' schools, others in their family homes, yeshivas, or synagogues. In this article, we present a very small sample from many hours of interviews. God damn it. From many hours of interviews and information, and some descriptions in this article are difficult to read. The great fear expressed by everyone who spoke with us is that organized sexual abuse of children continues to this day. Blessed who releases the bound. Victim, sacrifice, punishment, correction, transcendence, redemption. These are reoccurring concepts in the testimonies. The prayers, the mutterings, the ecstasy surrounding the victims, the extreme pain, humiliation, and torture, the crushing of personality and soul. Testimony after testimony after testimony from women who experienced organized childhood abuse that included group rape performed within ceremonial and ritual frameworks. We met these women over the past few months. We spoke with family members of some victims, with treatment professionals, and with experts in Israel and abroad specializing in trauma and disassociation. A range of conditions from emotional detachment to complete disconnection from feelings, sensations, memories, and more. We collected information about organized ritual child abuse, a phenomenon recognized worldwide, right? Because we got to keep bringing it back to that. Off his meds. Off his med, bro, look homeless. Same old shit. They all say the same thing. The picture emerging from all gathered information is disturbing and difficult. Like I say, at least they fixed it. At least it's not kicking me off like crazy. Morning, man. How you doing? Good, good. It yeah, you know, they got to match me, right? It requires at minimum, a deep and meaningful investigation by law enforcement authorities. Quote, it's a religious national mission. Oh, there we go. What the fuck just happened? It just skipped. Page just skipped. So now I have to... Okay, I got to go back to it. We collected information about organized ritual abuse. Can recognize the picture emerging from is difficult. A treatment professional. It is a religious national mission to expose this phenomenon and uncover the truth. A treatment professional in the religious community familiar with the details of the phenomenon told Israel Hayom. Most women we interviewed come from religious Zionist or ultra-Orthodox communities, although Shabbat received additional testimonies about similar cases in secular society. Therefore, it is important to emphasize that these findings don't target any specific sector, but rather direct a beam of light towards suspected crimes of the most severe kind imaginable. Crimes committed in a parallel world transparent to sight, though deeply dark and sinister. Several rabbis' names appeared repeatedly in some testimonies. Multiple complaints filed at different police stations around the country were all closed relatively quickly. Even when suspicions arose previously about a network harming children in Jerusalem, police investigators at best lacked sufficient tools or knowledge to properly investigate. See, they're making excuses for it. Again, that's how you know who's presenting this article. Because, you know, these police, they just don't have the resources to do these investigations. They're too busy killing Palestinians to actually look into any of this, I guess. You guys are also seeing the comments. I'm not seeing the comments. So you can see how it's not like they're going, oh my God, this is horrible. I didn't know this was happening in my community. Hell yeah, we need to do something about this. I don't care what your religious connections are. Child abuse is not okay. Blah. You never see anything like that. It's almost like all of these commenters are strangely mad at me for reading this article. Who's going to get mad at me for reading an article they wrote? It's their article. In that case, extensively exposed in 2019 on the TV program The Source, suspicions arose about a pedophile network that harmed dozens of children in the Nahalat neighborhood. Investigators tended to dismiss it as an invention, exaggeration, or panic by parents and treatment professionals, and closed the case with almost no relevant indictments. A man named Benjamin Satz, S-A-T-Z, was convicted and sentenced in 2013 to imprisonment for committing indecent acts and sodomy against girls and boys aged 5 to 8. Another suspect was acquitted due to reasonable doubt. In practice, dozens of children remained traumatized and required years of emotional therapy. Not outsiders in the community. Quote, I remember a pentagram on the floor, usually in red. When the ceremony was in the forest, the pentagram was marked with a hoe and surrounded by lit candles in a circle. The rabbi would bless, quote, blessed who released the bound. Oh, yeah, it just, see what it's doing? I'm not doing that. You guys just see that shit happening right in front of your face? All right, so now, So now, oh, now this just popped up. So now when I pull it back, now it takes me to an article, How Israel Destroyed Assad's Syrian Navy. And it'll just keep bringing me back to this article. So now I got to go all the way back up to the top. And now I have to try to fight my way down. Click read more again, okay. All right, let's see. I told you it wasn't. What website would make it difficult for you to read their content? No outsiders in the community. And this, isn't it funny how it starts fucking up when you get to the part where it actually starts giving the details? The rabbis would bless. Blessed who released the bound. Men around prayed with prayer shawls, sometimes dressed in black, while the rabbi wore a white robe. There were several men and boys around the ages of 16 and 17 who participated in ceremonies for spiritual transcendence. Quote, there was one time they asked me to dig a hole and lie in it. Other times they injected me with something and said, now you'll feel better, after which my body went limp. They would repetitively read psalms like a psalm of David, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. They told me, you are special, you are chosen. And they would insert, I remember, a palm branch, Hanukkah candles, and a shofar. They're inserting these things into these children. Limor, pseudonym, grew up in a religious ultra-Orthodox home. Her father, she says, always acted violently toward her and her mother. Throughout the years, she required medical treatment at a hospital and was accompanied by a professional due to injuries caused by the violent abuse she experienced. According to her testimony, her father was the one who brought her to these ceremonies. Being delivered by family members is a characteristic of many testimonies we gathered. Limor says sometimes the ceremony took place in a forest, other times in a secluded apartment. There were instances when she witnessed and heard other children being abused. Testimony regarding additional child victims repeats across multiple cases. So this is all just like anti-Semitism by Jews and Israelis, FREIERS, all like, again, none of this is anything outside of their cult. None of the article, none of the writers, editors. This is Israel Hayom. This is a top Israeli page. There's no goyim interference anywhere. So this is all them telling on themselves. In many testimonies we documented, women also participate in the ceremonies and abuse. Quote, organized rape of children is one of the most horrifying phenomenon I encounter, said Dr. Anat Gur. Again, the doctors, it's them. A psychotherapist specializing in treating women in trauma, head of the psychotherapy program for sexual trauma treatment at Bar Ilan University and the Tel Aviv Rape Crisis Center. Quote, it's a phenomenon probably much more widespread than we imagine. It exists in many places you wouldn't expect to find it. Boaz, a pseudonym, a senior treatment professional in the religious community, agrees. The abusers are typically not outsiders in the community. One patient told me, understand, he's the one who blows the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. The shofar symbolizes a channel. A person considered most spiritually worthy blows the shofar because he is closest to God. And he's the one telling her she is evil and that he's helping her with her atonement in this lifetime. Do you understand the distortion? Crime without witnesses. Beyond the women who dared to meet and speak with Israel Hayom, professionals possess information about additional victims who report sadistic ritual abuse during childhood. The content emerges from these accounts. Oh yeah, you gotta go gas station. Yep. Those. The content emerging from these accounts shows remarkable similarities. From all gathered information, it appears that in most cases, the sexual abuse began in a very early childhood at home, perpetuated by a father, grandfather, or other family members. In other cases, the abuse occurred in educational or therapeutic settings. What I've observed over the years, Dr. Gore said, is that whoever endures these things suffers catastrophic damage. That's also one of the challenges with exposure. The victims are so shattered, they're difficult to believe. Why? Why would it be difficult to... This is the part that's just so... this is the most morally upright army in the world, and these are supposedly the best people in the world, and yet their children are telling them that this insane abuse happens, and they've probably experienced it themselves, and if they haven't, they've definitely heard about it. But it pretty much seems like it's everywhere. And so your kid tells you, hey, I was abused. That's where I got all these bruises and shit that just came out of nowhere. And you're like, oh, well, that's just too hard to believe, so I'm not going to. Never mind your whole personality changes. Never mind all the stuff that's associated with it. You're just crazy. Stop making up stories. That's also one of the challenges with exposure. The more cruel and sadistic the abusers are, and the younger the victims, the more horrifying the abuse, the smaller the chance that perpetrators will face justice. So they're trying to imply that the younger the children are, these young children are just anti-Semitic and making up all of these accusations, detailed accusations that no child should know. They're just making it up. And they happen to bring up the same people, and yep, it's all just coincidence, I guess. Again, notice how none of these fucking people, none of the commenters in here, well, not none, most of the commenters are the same people that are here every day. They're the same people that say the same old things, and not one of them is talking about how horrible this is and how much we need to do something about it. This is their own people being violated. It's not like it's Palestinians where they get joy from it, watching the abuse and the genocide. Well, at least in theory, I mean, obviously they enjoy this whole sort of thing because they keep doing it. But again, notice how they're not just acknowledging any of it. They're not saying like, we need to do something about this. We need to fix our own community. And it's really interesting. Who do you think, let's just say these are just random regular people, right? These are not Jays. These are not FREIERS. Who is going to come onto this feed, hear me reading this article, and at the very least not be like, wow, this is interesting. What the hell are you talking about? This is horrible. How do we stop this? Who is going to just stumble across this feed, hear what's being said, and desperately try to change the subject, talk shit, do anything but acknowledge what's being said? Who the fuck is going to do that? Does that seem like a normal sort of response to you? Does that seem like what Iowa Cop Watch should be saying? Iowa Cop Watch is somebody that's supposedly doing the good stuff, right? They're cop watchers, right? So why would cop watchers hear about the ritualistic rape of children and be like, another thing of a method doesn't stop doing besides talking and going from topic to topic, right? That's what I'm doing. I'm going from topic to topic by reading you an article. Interesting, isn't it? Who do you think? I guarantee Iowa Cop Watch is some dumb Jay, some FREIER. It's not going to be a Goyim. I guarantee it's a dumb FREIER behind the scenes. And, you know, this person has a fucking page, right? Making videos shouldn't be a big deal. Why doesn't this person make a Guy Williams sucks video? Tell me they made it, and then I'll show it to you guys. Oh, look, here we go. Article just fucked all up. Now we're back to this for some reason. I don't even know what the hell. Oh, okay. Why don't they make a quick Guy Williams sucks video, and then I'll show it on here, and then, because, you know, I'm just trying to get their view count, but whatever. Remove the video. After I show it, remove it. Make a video where you're talking about why you're not opposed to ritualistic child sexual abuse. Why you think the guy that is trying to expose this is the bad guy, and what I'm wrong about, anything. And then just remove it, because, you know, you're so super popular. I'm just trying to blah, 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 blah. All those excuses you give. I'm obviously worth it since you're here all the time, spending hours and hours and hours trying to get my attention. So why won't this person make that video real quick, right? Wake up, guys. This shit is so much worse than you think it is, and it's so much more widespread. And as far as, you know, controlled opposition goes, of course they're going to, you know, be the cop watchers. So we don't be the cop watchers. Right? Because if they're the cop watchers, they're not sitting there exposing how it's all Israeli run. The Israeli training program, or the Israeli security program, the security officers, the Mossad, whatever, is who is training our police, who's coming up with our policies. You know, it's all Israeli, and you never hear any of them mention it. This is probably why, and this is what the song Donald Trump Hates America is about. I'm asking the question, where are all the First Amendment auditors? They literally identify themselves as First Amendment auditors. And yet, the Trump presidency is literally trying to destroy the First Amendment over Israel, over protecting the FREIERS. And I you know, why aren't all these guys who do get together and do certain cop watch things and all that, Direct D, auditing Erie County, Sean Paul Reyes gets the pass. He's actually doing really good work right now. He's exposing Brian Fahey, who sure does look pretty chosen to me. So I got to give it to Sean Paul Reyes. He's doing amazing work right now. And if you haven't looked into it, you should. Oh, here we go. Not paying attention, so the fucking article flip-flops over. And is it going to let me stay where I was? Okay. Now look at Iowa Cop Watch, like backpedaling now. No, that's not. Yep. You're Iowa Cop Watch. You have your own thing going on, yet you're going to sit on my feed for multiple hours every day, crying about getting my attention, claiming it's rage bait. It's rage bait. Do you know that only them are going to know what the title of this video means? Like if submarines aren't real, it's supposed to be rage bait. If you're raging over submarines, you got much bigger problems. But FREIERS exposed proof? They're the only ones that know what FREIERS means. You guys don't know that shit. None of the Goyim know that shit. So this doofus saw my title, and he's Iowa Cop Watch. So he's been here since I started at 8:30. Iowa is at least 2 hours behind me. I don't think he's in the, no, he's not in the Pacific time zone, but should be in the Mountain time zone. So it's 6:30 a.m. on a Monday. Isn't it Labor Day? I don't know. And these guys are this Iowa Cop Watch has nothing else going on. He's here exposing that he doesn't care about ritualistic sexual abuse in children and wants me to stop talking about it. Who the fuck is going to do that other than these piece of shit Jays? And it's like, it's just like the whole good cops thing. There are no good cops, because if there were good cops, there wouldn't be bad cops, right? The good cops would expose the bad cops. But you know, same thing with these Jays. If these Jays were any good. Do you have both lighters on you? Yes. If these Jays were any good, they'd be appalled by this. Who wouldn't be? Let's just say they didn't know all this was happening. Hearing about it, especially from their own community, would be just, you know, such a big deal. But instead, Iowa Cop Watch is telling I should stop doing what I'm doing. Are you talking about me? Did I hit a nerve, buddy? Huh? Yes, you hit a nerve by providing me a fantastic example of what I'm talking about. And anybody but a dumb friar is going to see that. Why hasn't this guy gone, fuck yeah, dude, we need to kill these pedos? What the fuck?
Oh my God.
No. No, you're not just going to take them all.
I don't have them on me.
Where are they?
Hiding.
No, give me one. Bullshit, man. Oh, there we go.
Don't take, no! Asshole.
I'm faster than you.
Not really. Between your knee and your toe.
Shit. I give up. You're right. I'll give you one.
No.
No.
Me too. You
No.
can sit here and roll it in a
I can
second.
sit here and roll them while I'm live. No, thank you. You can roll them much easier than I can.
No, I can't.
Of course you can. Besides, yours are better anyway. Mine don't smoke right. They burn too fast. Blah, blah, blah. My wife likes rolling up shake because everybody knows rolling shake works out really well, doesn't it? Wait, where'd the other one go? Oh, I just put it out. Yeah, that's right. God damn it, that hurt. Hate being old and broken. Though I'd still kick J ass. I'd still kick Fryer ass. I'm in your head now. Yep. You're in my head while you watch my video. Yeah, that makes sense. For the umpteenth time. Yep. Because I'm in your head. Or because you're in my head. Yeah, that's... Boy, howdy. How do I stop this? Like I said, I appreciate it, man. I'm so glad you're too stupid to realize what you're doing. Or too arrogant. It's probably a combination of the both, but you're too stupid and arrogant to realize just how easy you're making this for me. I guarantee any goyim, any non-friar on here is seeing it. And there's probably several of you that are going, fucking shut up, dude. You're just making this too obvious. But let's just keep going, right? Let's keep going. Till it kicks me off again. Where now I gotta find the fucking place I was at because again, it'll just keep kicking me out. This is the article that will be in the comments or in the description. So you'll be able to read the whole thing. I don't think I'm gonna read this whole thing. This thing is a long ass article. All right. So basically, again, it's sort of like this Iowa Cop Watch thing, right? Who the hell is going to be like, oh, well, you're so young, you don't know what you're talking about. You've made up this story. It's so crazy, I don't believe it. It's the same sort of mentality as who's going to hear what I'm talking about and be like, nah, you should stop it. Like, who's going to do that? I can only provide you so much evidence, guys. I can only lead you to the water so much. You know? It's up to you to drink it. I'm not going to, I would say I'm not going to find, an article where, or I'm not going to find some, notarized, endorsed pieces of presidential decree that Israel does this kind of shit. Yeah, that's not going to exist. But when Israel Hayom, when their own people are talking about this, oh, page just fucked up. What the hell?
Remember when the people on your video tried to take our dogs away?
No.
Yeah, they did, remember?
No. They're just stupid.
Come on, come on.
Oh, now Ellen pops up for some fucked up reason. All right, now I gotta go find my place again. Oh, now we're back to, this is the, it just moved it to the Israel, how Israel destroyed Assad's navy. It's just gonna it keeps kicking me to this page. Come on, Moses. Come on. Come on, you old senile stupid ass dog. Come on. So now I've got to go back to the bottom of darkness. I've got to click read more. And then I've got to go find the place I was at. Now this article is extremely long. Imagine having to do this 100 times just to read an article. Who's going to do that? Most people aren't going to do that. The more they get kicked out, the more they're just going to give up. Line a hole, injecting according to testimony, brought in a crime without witness. What I've witnessed over the years is endures the damage. The smaller, the more cruel and sadistic the abusers are, and the younger the victims, the more horrifying the abuse, the smaller the chance that the perpetrators will face justice because there is no one left to testify. The abusers so thoroughly destroy the victims' souls that it becomes a crime without witness, which of course serves a society that continues to abuse or maintain these rituals. It's me making it up, right? It's me making it up. Dr. Joanna Silberg, an international expert in treating dissociative disorders among children and adolescents, and former president of the International Society for Trauma and Disassociation. She probably doesn't have she doesn't have credentials, right? This chick doesn't know what she's talking about. Guided the treatment of 70 children who allegedly fell victim to organized abuse in Israel over 5 years. That's one child a month. That's one child a month that gets the treatment. Imagine how many there are that don't. In chapter 14 of her book, The Child Survivor, she describes the severe symptoms that children suffered, quote, due to multiple forms of abuse, physical, sexual, emotional, and spiritual. Dr. Silberg notes several sources for the numerous testimonies about the cases of organized abuse in Jerusalem. In one case, reported in professional literature, a child abused in Israel and treated in the U.S. described how several men tortured him and recalled an incident where they submerged his head underwater. Descriptions of sadistic abuse appear consistently across all testimonies we collected, as in Emuna's story. Quote, there was a ceremony like a circumcision that I underwent. I was 10 or 11. It took place in a settlement's synagogue. They tied me up, similar to the binding of Isaac, it's a biblical thing, and wounded my genitals. My father is there, my mother is there, and a rabbi from the settlement. I'm tied to a table, looking at the window and imagining how I could jump through it, how I might tie a rope and rappel down to the stones. I constantly wanted it. I constantly wanted it not to be happening. That's what characterizes it. I continuously thought how it wasn't happening, how I could escape. I kept telling myself I wasn't there. It's extremely difficult to understand that I was actually there, that it's me, the bound child. This is so crazy, guys. It's so fucking crazy. You know, these are the things that, like, we're just not supposed to talk about. Just think about it. Iowa Cop Watch. Iowa Cop Watch is here on my page trying to get me to stop talking about this. What do you think's going to happen when I start posting in comments on his page links to this kind of video and people can see for themselves who this disgusting friar piece of shit is? You think he's going to have any sort of negative response? You think the people that his loyal following are going to continue to be just as loyal when they find out he's a pedo? When they find out he supports fucking the worst of the worst shit? You know? It's one thing when it's the standard friar coward, and I'm saying, you know, prove you're not a bot, prove you're not a friar, and make a quick video telling the world how stupid I am, how awful I am. Guy Williams sucks. And then I'll play it on my feed. You can say anything you want and I'll play it on my feed. And not one of them ever takes me up on it. They'll sit here for hours, day after day, month after month. But to prove that, to give themselves even a hint of legitimacy, prove they're a real person, prove they're not a piece of shit friar, they won't do it. I'm not worth it. This, that, every excuse you can think of. All they have to do is upload it, come on here, let me know that they did, we'll watch it, and as soon as I'm done watching it, they can delete it. So it doesn't get me any viewers. Why would it even get me viewers? I don't understand. If you're telling people what a piece of shit I am, what, they're going to come see it, I guess, but they'll see for themselves, right? So why would it matter? The only one that's well, there's two. There's actually two profiles, one called the J Crew, the Jew Crew, and one called the Anti-Guy page, I believe. Where it's two pages that upload the exact same videos. And they have all these goofy clips of this, that, and the other, like 30 second. But then there's the first video that they made, which I played on here the other day, at least as much as I could, where they have, somehow they have all of my videos across all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Not only do they have all my videos saved and cataloged, they have little timestamps where maybe I say like 5 words. And they have all of this saved and ready to go. Either that, or which doesn't even make any sense, they went back and just watched every video I've ever put out, which, again, that would just take forever. But they have all these these different clips of me saying one thing or another. All these timestamps that they had saved, they edited on the video, and they would splice these things together. Like me talking about Ian Bernardo upsets them. Do you guys know who Ian Bernardo was? Ian Bernardo was the most moronic, idiotic, stereotype character that you ever saw on So You Think You Can Dance and American Idol, I believe. He was one of the tryouts, one of those tryout disasters. This goofy boy who walks around all swishing and swaying. He's got a fucking brown fake fur on. I'm Ian Bernardo. I am like, he's such a disgusting piece of shit Israeli operative who was given an identity. Like his narrative, if you look into it, is very, very, I'd say suspect, but it's not even, it's obvious. It's obvious this guy is an operative who is, was given everything he could. And he would have been given a lot more if he had literally any talent, but he doesn't. He's just the least talented person you've ever seen. His dancing is just, it's almost like a parody. If it was a joke, it might be funny, but it would be funny, but the fact that he's so, like, he believes in so much, he's so into it, it makes it even funnier. But apparently talking about Ian Bernardo got these guys so mad that they clipped that, and I hadn't brought that shit up in, I mean, it has to be at least 5 years. I couldn't even tell you when. Like, I still have brown hair in a lot of these videos, or in a lot of these clips. And so what they've done is they made a 5-minute, 20-some second long video of little clips of me saying things spliced together with pro-Israel propaganda. I don't know how much more obvious it can be. There's no goyim alive that would, that would go to that much effort to stalk me so thoroughly, and and then to have all that shit, the clips all like that. That shit had to take hours to put together. Hours just to not only have all those clips saved, but to also have all the Israeli propaganda videos saved. Now, granted, the last minute and a half is I think it's I don't know, I don't remember what the song is. It's a famous rock song, but I don't know, like the fact that they would put this shit out and look at it as like a knock, like, or they thought it was, I mean, I don't even know. It's Hasbara at its finest. It's them trying to convince one thing where the obvious, motivation is there. So it couldn't be anything other than FREIERS. It couldn't be anything other than Israelis. It wouldn't be. It just wouldn't make any sense. And that's the only Guy Williams Sucks video I can find. Yet all of these people are supposedly so scared and mad at me for exposing ritualistic sexual abuse of children. It actually, oh, look, fucking feed fucked up again, or the page fucked up again. Now I gotta, what the fuck? Now we're going Babylonian, unearthed tablets. All right. Oh, nope, now we're back to the Israel destroys the Syrian Navy, Assad Syrian Navy. That's where it brought me to. And now it's like flipping. Oh, it's so fucking weird. Again, who makes an article on their page this difficult to read? What would be the benefit to that? If you're the proprietor of the website, then you want people to have access to your shit as easily as possible. The youngest and most vulnerable. Organized sexual abuse occurs, as noted, throughout the world. Got to keep reminding you of that. That it's not just them. What's up, Micah? Oh, mental illness. So that's what I started with, right? So now that it's been an hour, you can see it. There was a few people, and a lot of people that weren't here when I first started. But what I expose or whatever. Hey, Nate. Tell your brother to let Broly in like Mom said. Thank you, sir. So I had been going back and forth. Well, I posted Free Palestine on a random video. Some dumb Jay is riding down the street and on his bike, and a skateboarder is clearly coming towards him, and he's too dumb to fucking move. Like, the skateboarder doesn't see him. So all he had to do was turn his bike a little bit, and he could have avoided the crash. But he ends up crashing and like scraping up his whole right side and whatnot. It's fucking hilarious. Yeah, it's so great when they get hurt. But I posted on there Free Palestine. And so I had multiple Eric Fisher and Dan Mercer and some other couple other doofuses who all just had like the one that starts it post a picture of some severely handicapped child in a helmet. His face is off. He kind of looks like, I hate to say it, but he kind of looks like the sloth from the Goonies. Like his face is all fucked up. And it's got a helmet on, and the kids kind of look, and he says, "Oh, Free Palestine," and he spells it all funny. And again, it's like, who thinks a child that's that compromised is funny? Of all the things you could post, this is what this idiot posts, right? Like, it's all so telling. Oh, look, the page fucked up again. So I pointed it out, like, what a piece of shit you have to be, blah, 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 blah. And there was another, so like Eric Fisher and Dan Mercer are both commenting on this one thing. And, so I say, it's funny how all of you Matitza Bepa pedos are, you're disgusting, don't worry, we'll wipe you off the mat, blah, 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 that kind of shit. 4 times, there were 4 different FREIERS. I'm retraining my brain. 4 different J FREIERS that responded. 2 of which said, "Oh, you're off your, this is schizophrenia." One of them said, you're projecting. And another one said another one of the thing, I can't remember what the third one. But the fact that the idea of take your meds, off your meds, schizophrenia, mental issues, this, that, and the other, like, this is obviously something that they're programmed with. And if you look up act.il explains this all to you, how this happens. They created a system where, interference is like a video game for them. And they get points. And they get prizes. And they get all this shit for doing the dirty work. And one of the things it says is they're taught to respond with provided talking points, to write a reply using the provided talking points. And it's impossible. Like, it's just impossible that they would all use the same shit if it was accidental. And what they're trying to always do is make a person that talks about, like, and it's just this, right? If the abuse is deemed to be so severe and crazy enough that it won't be believed because it's so severe. Crazy. It becomes, oh, this person's just crazy. This child who's saying they're being abused is just lying and schizophrenic and off their meds. This is their method. This is how they do it. Because making people say, like, what's being talked about is fucking crazy. And you'd be crazy to ignore it. But if the person expressing it is crazy, that means it's not real. Don't worry, go back to sleep. And whether it's silencing someone like me, who's literally exposing them as easy as I possibly can, or one of their own children desperately needing help and trying to expose the abuse to essentially protect other children, their response is the same. Oh, that's just crazy. That's just crazy. And I mean, this is just like this. What I mean when it's as far as proof goes, I'm not going to. They're not going to honestly come in here and have the conversation. They won't do it. To the point where they'll come in here and not even acknowledge what's being said as being wrong or awful or needing to be stopped or anything. They'll just talk shit about the guy exposing it. None of you Goyim, none of the people that stumbled across this feed know what FREIERS are. They do, but none of you do. And so you see this Iowa Cop Watch. You see the rest of like people that you might that you might not expect, or these fake profiles. You know, there's a plethora of examples, but it's the same tactics. Attack the victim, attack the person exposing it, and make them sound crazy. Organized sexual abuse occurs as noted throughout the world. Researcher Michael Statler defines it as, quote, a conspiracy of several attackers to abuse several victims. Gee, it sounds familiar, doesn't it? Every time I see somebody, somebody doing some sort of Epstein video, this is the shit I comment. Like, unless you're talking about this stuff, you're being duped. This is the reasoning. This is this is the why that everybody's looking for. This is the stuff that explains the Epsteins and how it all is so easily perpetuated in our supposedly super secure system there to protect the children and blah, blah, blah. This is like, you have to be able to put the pieces together. One, because there's nobody else really talking about it. Everyone else is more concerned with views. Everyone else is concerned with censorship, and they don't, they'll talk about all the juicy bits and they'll be allowed to have a good page. Think about how many Epstein videos you can see out there. Lots and lots of views on them, right? All these Epstein videos talking about the President of the United States' guilt. Like, if anything's supposed to be censored, that would be it. Why isn't that censored? Because that's what they want you focused on. This network, but you're not supposed to get the details of it. Just focus on the surface and shut the fuck up. And more than anything, focus on how they're openly doing this and there's no accountability. Know your fucking place. That's what this is about. That's why they're showing it to us like they are. To show us that even it can be as obvious as all of this is, and if they don't want to do anything about it, they won't. Yeah, they'll tell you that they're going to release the files, and then they'll be like, there are no files. And that'll be that. Oh, we're going to release a video that completely exposes everything. There'll be no doubt about it. This is a concrete video. The video's a joke. Missing a minute, blah, blah, blah. The camera angle changes. To me, that's the biggest part. People focus on a bunch of different aspects of it. One being you never actually see Epstein in the video. But my whole thing is like, how do you even know? Just because they say that's what this video is, how do you know that's what it is? And the fact that the camera angle changes, there's no explanation for that. This is a camera in a super secured housing so that if a riot ever breaks out, the camera can still record for as long as until they cover the thing up. But it'll still, it still records. It's really hard to get at those cameras. So why would the camera angle change going from the, at the beginning of the missing minute to the end of the missing minute? It comes back and it's off a little bit. Almost like they wanted us to focus on it or something. I don't know. Because it definitely marks the point where the edit was made. But the angle shouldn't change. Even if it does, it's on some stupid loop that, and a minute missing every time, whatever. The angle shouldn't change, even a little bit. Oh, shit. Here we go again. It pulled us back to how Israel destroyed Assad's Syrian navy. Why does it keep pulling me back to that page? Make it make sense, guys. So at one point we were at 150 viewers. Now we're at 15. Isn't that interesting how that just happens? I guess not really changing subjects, getting deeper into this subject, and yet almost like something strange is working from behind the scenes. I 10 times less viewers than I had. Makes sense, doesn't it, guys? I mean, this article just keeps going, and it's descriptions of sadistic abuse appear constantly across all testimonies collected. There was a ceremony. Oh, yeah, we read that one. Rabbi Dr. Udi Furman quotes his article, Ritual Abuse in Israel, Salter's definition of ritual abuse as an ideological framing in organized contents of child sexual abuse, functioning as strategic practices through which abusive groups instill in victims a misogynistic worldview violently to control them. In other words, Rabbi Furman writes in his article, ritual abuse occurs when a religious, political, or spiritual authority uses their position of power to manipulate victims' belief systems and thereby control them. According to him, ritual abuse is primarily a strategy employed by groups involved in producing images of child abuse, child prostitutions, and other forms of organized abuse, and does not constitute a separate category of violence. This is who's producing all of the child exploitation materials that are being bought and sold all over the web. You know what? Let's just restart. We'll do it. We'll just make a second part of this, okay? Well, let's see. Is it going to climb back up? Are they going to let it climb? We jumped from 11 to 18. Come on, let's make this work. Come on. Let go of the fucking restrictions. I'm just going to start a new one. I don't want to have to start a new one in the middle of the article, though. That part sucks. I mean, like I say, it's just everywhere. It's just so. For example, the Nalat case is just one of many similar cases, most occurring in ultra-Orthodox neighborhoods. For instance, a private ultra-Orthodox court writes that ritual sexual abuse is cruel and frequent, accompanied by traumatic, accusatory, and confusing ceremonies. The abuse is carried out by large criminal organizations and/or cults and/or secret organizations with financial investment and recruitment of assisting personnel. The abuse carries for its perpetrators substantial profits, such as satisfaction of deviant urges, commerce, and exploitation materials, threats and extortion, and more. Do you understand? This is just a disgusting sickness. And if they can do that to their own children, do you know what they can do to your children? Interestingly, we exposed Iowa Cop Watch as a pedophile today. We're going to have to make a concerted effort to let his community know exactly what he's all about. So I'm going to go ahead and restart, and hopefully you'll join us. The description has all the links, and as always, you pedophiles, kill yourself.